Okay. Hi, I'm Pat X. This is another episode of PSYCHii. I'm here with Nathalie Watson. We're going to chop it up. Of course, we are sipping tea. We're going to talk about what type of tea we're sipping, and we're just going to get into a conversation.
Yes.
Right after this.
Fill up on number two. Fill up on number two. Fill up on number two.
Okay. Once again, I am Pat X. This is PSYCHii. I'm here with a good friend of mine, Nathalie. Before we start diving into this weird conversation that we're inevitably going to have,
Yes.
we are sipping tea because we always sip tea on the show. I am drinking a mango mimosa Tivana, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Tivana. It very much tastes like lemonade. It's very sweet, very not juicy in the sense of like juicy, but like I don't know. I've never described like water as juicy.
Yeah.
You like, but it is juicy because it tastes like juice, so it's juicy. But
the Mandarin taste.
right,
Yeah.
you get how that's kind of like weird.
Juicy water. I don't know how to feel
Yeah,
about
it's
that.
like it's juicy. Right, it tastes like juicy water.
Juicy water.
And which flavor are you drinking?
I am also drinking Tivana tea. It is a citrus lavender, has like pineapple hints and whatnot, and other herbal spices. So it's pretty good. It goes down really smooth. It has a very sweet aftertaste versus a bitter aftertaste, but I like honey and lemon in my tea. Trying to get to the point where I can just drink the tea straight, but if it's not just plain green tea, then I can't just drink it.
For sure. And you put lemon and honey in mine as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Nathalie prepared my tea. That's huge. Nah, not to imply that other people can't prepare my tea. I'm just saying. But yeah, so that's what we're sipping on.
Yes.
We actually had a pretty good conversation before we started filming. That went a little all over the place. What are some of the things we were talking about? And then we can just kind of... Well, before we do that, who are you?
Who am I?
Who's Nathalie? Who's Nathalie?
Nathalie is a human of this earth.
Or
I would
is
like
she?
to think. Or is she? Dun, dun, dun.
I feel like that's what somebody who's not a human
Would say.
who's faking it would say.
So then I just like unzip my face and
Yeah.
then reveal alien. Ah!
That'd be sick.
That would be sick.
Could you do that, actually?
I mean,
Try
well,
it. Have you tried? Maybe you don't know. Bigger picture, right?
Dun, dun.
You think you're real.
and then it turns out we're not. Honestly, you ever have those moments where your day just doesn't make sense? Like a lot of unnatural events occur, and sometimes you think it's a dream, but in reality, it's your day. Yet when you're dreaming, you think it's real. And then you wake up and you're like, wait, that was a dream? I feel like that often.
Yeah, I used to have this like reoccurring dream where I just wake up in this room full of like items that I really want. And so like sometimes it'll be shoes or like electronics or something.
Right.
And so I'll get excited and like round up all these items like a big old pile. And it's like, yes, I have all this stuff now. And then I'll wake up like extremely sad because none of those items are there. And I'm sure there's like a Freudian meaning behind like, I don't know, maybe our chase for materialism or something like that. But yeah, those dreams always piss me off because there's always like a fresh pair of sneakers or like some really cool games or something, and I can never get it out of the dream.
Out of the dream.
Yeah.
Are they like accessible in real life? If you had the money for it, could that be a thing?
Yeah, but it's like it's stuff you don't need though. You know how like rappers have like these big ass closets of like shoes and stuff. It's like that level of obnoxiousness. So I don't know.
Random items.
Right. But it's usually like there's a theme for each one of them. So sometimes it'll be like a whole bunch of electronics. Another time it'll be like a whole bunch of sneakers or something like that.
That's weird. I don't know. That's pretty out there. And I always have like the dreams I have that really freaks me out is it will be a situation or a scenario, and then a year or 6 months later it happens, and then I'm
Facts.
like, oh, deja vu. Like literally the other day I was doing something. I think I was hanging out with one of my friends. We went shopping and I lifted up the trunk and I was like, wow, deja vu. because we never put stuff in my trunk. We always put it in the back seat. But she just had so much shit, and we just ended up putting it in the trunk. And I was like, wow, I had a dream about this 6 months ago when you were the person.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Remember I told you when me, and Terrence, how do you grammatically say that? You, Terrence, and I went to the prison and we're taking like that course or whatever. Remember, we were sitting near that wall and I was like, yo,
Dejavu.
this has happened before. I have not been to that prison in Colombia before. You know what I mean? I damn sure haven't taken a course to like whatever training we had, whatever reason we were there for. Yeah, it's insane. I had another one when I was in Washington with Shad.
Oh, wow.
I was like, Shad just got back to the States. I definitely haven't been to Washington. I definitely haven't been to Shad's place because he just moved into this place because he just got back from the States. I'm just like, man,
Weird.
yeah. Liam's mom told me that it deals with like your soul remembering another time that you were here and like
past lives.
right. Sometimes I think of, and I told her Alan Watts has a cool lecture where he where like we are like God in a sense, right? And so we create this reality how we want to, the same way if you could create your own dream, you would do a bunch of cool stuff and be in complete control. And then eventually you would get bored. And so you would add like an independent variable that you can't control to spice things up. Really? And then eventually you would do that for everything. And so now we've gotten so complex and added so many, you know what I mean?
Variables.
Like audibles and stuff.
Right.
That we've tricked ourselves into like believing that we're not in control of all of this. So I was like, based on that idea, maybe like I'm like giving myself like a tutorial via dreams or like a teaser trailer for whatever, you know what I mean, like landmark in my life or like this checkpoint or something, and you're just like kind of playing a game with yourself.
Oh, wow.
It's trippy.
That's
it's
very
really
trippy
to think about. I like it though. It's like, man, because that's exactly what you would do if you could control your dreams, right? It would get boring to like know what's gonna happen all the time, so you would add some like variables to it.
We have to have challenges. We are complex creatures. If things are too easy, then we don't like it. If they're too challenging, we don't like it. So there has to be some middle ground between, like, I guess, something to make it difficult. We're weird like that.
For sure, or like unpredictable.
There we go. Unpredictable. That's a better word. Oh.
That's wild.
I don't like it. I like it and I don't like it at the same time.
Did we ever get to who you were?
No, we didn't.
I don't think we did. We went straight into like dreams and Dolly.
It's really, that's just how conversations work.
Right.
But yes, because we're going to drift off again.
Who am I talking to? You're not an alien or like a spy of a human.
I am me. I am Nathalie. I am a visual artist based in Charleston, South Carolina. So yes, anything that ranges from graphic design, cinematography, videography, photography, any type of art form I like to dabble in. Consider myself an entrepreneur at this time. Yes, we are.
Claim it.
Claim it. It's mine. Manifest and walk in it. All that fun stuff.
Yep.
So yes, that's
very
what I
nice. Very nice. Well, I'm excited to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I was talking to. You're welcome. I was talking to Liam. And this was a while ago, and thinking about this conversation kind of like further like validated my decision to do this. I feel like all or damn near all the conversations I have or even you have like amongst your friends are all like worthy of being recorded. I feel like I don't have like dry or shallow conversations with people. I feel like we're always talking about something weird or like at the least comical, you know what I mean, or of value. So I thought, why not record these conversations in the form of a podcast?
Yeah, I mean, why not?
So here we are talking about dreams. And what movie is that where they're like fake people? It's like an old black and white joint.
Oof.
It's a classic. I can't think of the name of it, but you've seen like the pictures where it's like robot faces and they're pretending to be like suburban white people.
I will have to Google it. I do not know the title off the top of my head.
But you know what I'm talking about, though,
yeah.
Right? We've seen like their faces and they look like weird, like robotic.
I'm pretty sure we had to watch it in one of our classes too, if I'm not mistaken. That's why I know what you're talking about.
I can't think of that name, what the name of that is. But anyway, yeah, you might be one of them.
A robotic melanated female.
Right. You might be Conehead. I watched Coneheads recently for the first time. Shout outs
Really?
to Taisha. She made me watch Coneheads.
It is a classic.
I see why it's a classic. I didn't want to accept that it was a classic because...
For what?
Because, you know, like whenever you're watching something with somebody that's very knowledgeable about what you're watching, and it's like, it's a classic, it's so funny, it's great. And so you're already like, I don't want to, like...
It's not that great.
I don't want to validate your booty. You know what I mean? Because you're so excited about this, and it looks goofy. But yeah, it was pretty great.
It's pretty great. That's one of my dad's favorite movies. We would actually, if that comes on, he'll shout for me upstairs, and I'll run downstairs, and I'll be like, oh man, I gotta watch it. Stop everything.
Me and my grandma used to be like that over, there's an old VHS called Cats and Dogs. Or it's like cats versus dogs. And they're like feuding, but in like a, they're like spies and like FBI like agents and like Secret Service-esque. And so whenever the humans like go away, the dog's house turns into like Bruce Wayne-esque, like, you know what I mean, like Batcave with computers and all types of technology. And they're taking like jetpacks and I don't know, the white cat is like the arch nemesis or whatever.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was pretty intense, and they all know like kung fu and stuff. So anytime that would come on, my grandma would call me and be like, "Cat dog is on, cats and whatever it's called."
Cats and
We would
dogs.
watch it.
Oh, that's hilarious. Wait, so were there actual voices, like human voices of the cats
Mm-hmm.
and dogs?
And then they like CGI'd like the mouth moving
God.
or whatever.
Oh, Jesus.
And this is like early 2000s, probably like 90s.
So you know it's bad. The CGI and stuff, yep, it's awful and whatnot.
I want to watch it again. The dude from Jurassic Park is like the dad.
Oh wow.
Can't think of his name, but yeah, I definitely that was definitely one of them. What were your childhood movies? What's like a staple movie for your childhood?
A staple movie. You know, when I think about it, I want to say almost all of them are like animation based, like Mulan, Studio Ghibli. Mulan's definitely a staple.
Yeah.
I think so. Mainly just because the fact that one is actually a true story. And two, the fact that like she had to disguise herself as a male just to prove that she could be a warrior.
Right.
As well as like go in place of her father. Because really that's even in today's society. Like a woman can do whatever a man can do.
Right.
But even in the year 2021, there's still like, oh, well, you're a woman, so no. And it's like, but my guy, I can definitely do this and better than you.
Right.
Or even if you look at the paycheck, you automatically still get paid less based off your gender, which is trash. It is trash, and
For
that needs
sure.
to stop.
I think Mulan's
fact.
definitely like
Definitely staple.
a staple for, of course, for your childhood, like you said, but also like a quintessential example of like female empowerment. Kind of how like Wonder Woman is now. It's more of like a contemporary example, I guess. But yeah, for sure, Mulan.
Definitely say Mulan.
Any live actions? Mine was Sandlot. I used to think people were like super weird being able to like say like the whole movie, but I can like recite like majority of Sandlot.
Sandlot? Really?
I can put it on mute and like just like have the dialogue with myself, just because I've seen it so many times. But that's like a staple movie for me. I love the Sandlot.
Mine would be then live action Coming to America. Word from word, I know it. I could just hear the scene from another room and automatically know where it is and describe it. Like that movie is so good. It's so good. So I'm anxious because I always wanted Coming to America too. But like, you know, it's when I seen the actors and actresses that they have, I was kind of like, I don't know how I feel. I don't know what this combination's gonna look like. But of course I'm gonna support it regardless because, you know, go ahead. They finally did it. Coming to America too. But then it sucks too because the actress that was the mother, the queen, she died in real life.
Right.
Back in like, I think late 90s, she had some disease or whatever. So it's like, are they going to... I don't think they're going to replace her. But even the storyline is like, oh, he finds out he has a son through like whatever encounter he had in New York. And it's kind of like, but that's not even in the original film. So I don't know how to feel about it. But I'm going to give it high hopes because, you know, Eddie Murphy or Arsenio Hall, you really can't go wrong with those two at least.
There's a lot of films that are like that. Like even like the new Matrix like coming out. Like everybody's excited about it.
Like, no.
And then they reveal like who's going to be in it and who's not. It's like...
It's again.
Like what?
Or like, why touch it? The Matrix was fine with just the first one. The second one was okay. Then I think they had what, 3 or 4 of them?
3.
3, right? And 3 was like some futuristic thing, and he dies in the end or whatever. I just remember 3 being long, and I didn't find it as good as the first one.
Yeah, I went back and watched all of them, and I can definitely see like the importance of all 4 of them together. As like kind of like a saga, similar to like how Lord of the Rings has its whole, you know what I mean,
so
thing,
long.
and Star Wars and yada yada yada. Fantastic stuff. Even like the small like minutia of the Matrix series is like super in depth. Everything down to like what the name of the ship is, or like certain like little Easter eggs like that is dope. Fun fact: the Wachowski brothers are now the Wachowski sisters.
I saw that on Facebook.
Which I thought was pretty dope. Because I was looking, I was like, who directed this? I knew it was like
The
a
brothers.
weird name. And then I saw brothers. And then I saw sisters somewhere else. I was like, well, which one of y'all did it? You know? And then I was like, ooh. Okay. That's cool. But yeah, so like The Matrix, I'm kind of excited for, but skeptic about.
Yeah.
I'm super like on the fence about Mortal Kombat.
Are you?
I'm so scared. I'm so scared because I was a Mortal Kombat fanatic. I love Mortal Kombat. And like the 90s films are like infamously bad. Like they're so bad, it's
really
like
are.
a cult around it.
Because of how bad they are.
And so you can only do better. But I saw that they were making it. Well, at first there were like rumors that they were making it, and it turned out to just be like a YouTube like indie like film, which I mean they did like straight. But then they announced like they're actually like doing it, and I was like, oh, this is like for real. And so I did a little bit of research. They haven't released anything but like the font, and I think the director is a guy who did Insidious. So I was like, ooh. But he also did Aquaman.
Did he really?
And so I'm like,
Oh, it's the same guy.
But the fight scenes in Aquaman
are good.
But Aquaman is bad. But the fight
As a
scenes
whole.
and like the camera angles and stuff are good. So I don't know. And then like the cast looks like
The cast looks fire. I think they
looks
did
pretty
right with the
good,
cast.
right? I'm like happy with who's like Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Like, so I don't know, man. It might be fire. I just know like whenever they release like the poster or like the first flyer, because it's gonna be like Scorpion or somebody, you know what I mean? And so like that costume, if it ain't hitting,
That's it.
you might have to pull a Sonic the Hedgehog and let them know to revisit that shit. We're not gonna see it unless you fix it.
Ain't it?
But yeah, I'm super excited. But I'm trying not to get like too excited because I don't want to be disappointed.
Right.
But
Because of our own expectations that we put onto it.
Right.
If it's not meant, as a society, we get very disappointed. Like the fact that the internet really bullied a whole animation studio to redo Sonic the Hedgehog, but then Sonic the Hedgehog, it wasn't even a box office like buster. It just did like, oh, good enough sales, and it's like y'all bullied them, and then y'all didn't even show up.
So and Sonic was like a pretty. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. Like, I think Sonic was. It was entertaining. It was fun to watch. I enjoyed it. But yeah, the stakes are high for Mortal Kombat.
They are, because Mortal Kombat was very popular. It still is.
I'm huge. I used to like, before I realized like there's people that have like whole careers doing this, I used to like design like all the characters, like new like fits like in between games and stuff.
Okay.
I used to have like I knew like all their backstory and like, and in Mortal Kombat that's confusing because like people die like 4 and 5 times, or like somebody is like the new whatever and yada yada, like new Cybots, like the old Sub-Zero and whoever killed Scorpion and he came back, and then Quan Chi went to the Elder Realm and turned into blah blah blah, and then now Raiden's bad.
Right.
And, like it's a lot. I used to know like all that stuff. And so if it ain't hitting,
you're going to be very disappointed. It's not
that might be the first thumbs down I've ever done on YouTube or whatever. Like, I'm a hate.
You're like go on Rotten Tomatoes.
If it don't hit, I'm actively hating.
Well, who's your character? Your go-to character then?
Scorpion.
Scorpion? Sub-Zero was mine. Sub-Zero.
That says a lot. That says a lot. That's a very ketchup / mustard esque like pineapple on
So
pizza, no pineapple on pizza kind of vibe.
Listen, pineapples go on pizzas though.
They do.
Regardless. See,
And
thank you.
Scorpion's better.
Oh wait.
To a T.
To a T.
Scorpion's such a dope character.
He is.
He's great.
He is. But if you don't know how to use him, then it's kind of like.
And that's another thing. Like even now, I can still like whoop ass and more. Like I don't buy the Mortal Kombat games anymore because I'm not like a gamer anymore.
Same.
Drop or whatever. But whenever a new one comes out, I always find who has it just to make sure I'm still nice with Scorpion.
Oh, that matters.
So I haven't like religiously played a Mortal Kombat game since like whatever the last one on PlayStation 2 was. But every year
same.
or whenever the new one comes out, I always make sure I have to be nice with Scorpion. It don't matter. As long as I can get Scorpion and still whoop ass, it's like
Mission complete.
facts. Or when those first like the trailers come out for the game, like the latest one that had like 21 Savage as the soundtrack and Scorpion was fucking up Raiden.
Yep.
Yo, I
Game
lost
over.
my mind. It's so exciting. Like a small amount of things excite me that much. When I hear like a new Mortal Kombat trailer came out, yo, everything has to stop.
And that's it.
I don't care what I'm doing. Everything has got to stop.
I used to be like that with Tekken. Tekken was
I
my
like
shit.
Yoshimitsu is hard though. I like Yoshimitsu a lot. He's always like
Not bad.
he's like Lady Gaga of like Tekken because
Lady Gaga.
it's always a super like outlandish costume or something like.
I mean, you know.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Wait, my brain stroking out. My brain. I'm trying to just Lady Gaga. And
Cause like Gaga is like boom meat dress, and I feel like that's very
Boom, meat dress.
That's very Yoshimitsu.
very.
Cause like at one point Yoshi was like he's like a skull dude, and then sometimes he's just like a samurai ninja, and then sometimes he'll have like
It's like
I don't
bright
know, he
colors.
just has like these
so.
super outlandish fits, and so I was just trying to think of on the fly who does
Lady
that,
Gaga.
and Gaga was my
Yeah,
first
yeah, you know. I
thought.
mean, yeah, early 2000s. Gaga her fit was just always
Right.
like, whoa. Like I guess you could kind of relate, like, I guess Sia kind of.
Yeah,
Because
I can
when
see that.
Sia came onto the scene, she gave me Lady Gaga vibes of like all the weird and the black and white hair.
Yeah.
Then Lady Gaga toned it down. And when she toned it down, I didn't even recognize that was her. I was like, oh, who's this? And they're like, oh, Lady Gaga. I saw it on Twitter. And I was like, oh, so that's what she looks like normally.
Right.
I was like, oh, damn.
Like when Star is Born, like the remake came out, I was like, who is that?
Right.
And I was trying to decide the whole trailer if she was like cute or not. And I was like, who is that? And then,
Right. The voice.
I was like, Gaga? I was like, no, that's just like they're lip syncing and it's Gaga on the soundtrack. And I was like, no, that's Gaga. That's the meat lady.
The meat That's like
I was
the
like,
meat
this is where
lady.
you've been
Yeah.
making movies with Cooper. She did really good in that film too.
You know, I only saw the trailer. I didn't actually get a chance to
You
see
should
the film.
watch it.
Is it good?
The movie's good. The soundtrack is great. And apparently that story has been told like a bunch of times, and they
Has it
keep
really?
like remaking it.
Huh.
So I have to go back and watch like the other ones. I say that I'm probably not gonna do it. I need to do it, but actually doing it is a different story. But it's a good movie.
I'm gonna
It's a
have to
really
check it
good
out.
movie.
No. I'm gonna have to check it out then, because I only saw the trailer, and it was one of those. Oh, I'm gonna watch it when it come out, and then it came out, and then I was like doing whatever, and then phew. So now that you
definitely
mentioned, I was
watch
like,
it.
dang,
Bradley Cooper can sing.
yeah, which
It's
is shocking.
like that soundtrack is like it's them, and it's good. I listen to Black Eyes like often by Bradley Cooper.
Good song.
Good song.
Good song. I did see them on the
Wow.
on the award shows when they were singing, and I was like, oh, vocals,
Yeah, I was like, ooh, they fucking.
right? Low key.
They're not, but I mean, I don't know, but
Yeah, you never know.
hey, everybody was talking about it though. They was like, dang, how they
Right.
gonna sit there and have that moment? His wife's like, or whatever, whoever he was dating, or yada yada. And I was like, stop, internet, you're gonna mess up that relationship.
As the internet does. The
Yeah, it
internet,
looks like they were having. They're definitely intimate. Not to imply that anything was going on, but there was definitely like chemistry.
But yeah, the vibes was all.
But I mean, they probably did that for several months just to film. You know what I mean? So like, they're probably more than comfortable around each other.
True. I once watched an interview because I like to watch like a lot of Korean dramas and stuff like that. And one, it was like between these two actors, and they asked the guy, like, how is it to act with someone like her of like this standard, because she's really pretty. And I guess in Korea, I can't remember the actress name, and I don't want to butcher up names, but she's very well known, very pretty. But the main actor, his wife, is just like, she has a pretty face herself, but she's like an ordinary, everyday person. So they're like, how was it to act with this beauty, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, I mean, like, it wasn't hard because of her looks, but because of her looks, I think people automatically think, oh, you're going to just magically fall in love with her and da-da-da-da. And he was like, it's not the case. Like, I just told myself every day on set that, like, oh, she's pretty. Like, my character loves her, so I have to act as if I'm in love with her.
Yeah.
To the point that the audience itself was like, oh, he might be cheating on his wife because the acting's too good. And he was like, that's not even the case. Like, if you look at his wife and then look at the actress, you could even see that, like, yeah, she's pretty, but she's just not my type. And then he got beef for saying that she's not my type because it's like, she's everyone's type. And he's just like, what do y'all want, bro?
Right, it's like a lose-lose. I always wonder, like, especially with stuff like sex scenes, for example, is it easier to do them when you're attracted to the person, or is it easier to do them when you're not attracted to the person? Because like the first one seems like obvious, like I'm attracted to you, therefore like I would be into this scene. But if I wasn't attracted to you, then it would be easier for me to be like professional and you know what I mean, not be distracted by like the actual sexual arousal, maybe. I don't know. So I always wondered that. And like which actors like hooked up afterwards, because it has to have happened.
I'm sure it has. Hollywood's messy in its sense.
So I always wondered that, and which one would be like easier for me if I was like in that position.
In that position, I feel like if you had, like, I guess for me, like if I was in like a sex scene and I was physically attracted to the guy, then it'll just be easier to act out on it because I'm already attracted, so I can just go as far as the scene goes. Or I don't even know how they direct that scene. If they're like, take it to this level. Do you stop here? Do you just let it go? Like, when do you really say cut?
Right, and that's another thing. Scene? Like, how do you handle that professionally as a director? And like, you know what I mean? Tell the person what you want, but also not be a perv about it.
Right.
It's like, I want you to like, whenever she's on top of you, like, cup her and like make it real sensual, kind of rock a little bit to make it seem like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you like describe that to where it's not like weird, I guess. I don't know.
Because I feel like if you're on set, if the actors are two separate married couples, then it's like, it would be really wrong to be like, okay, imagine this as your wife, imagine this as your husband or whatever. Just think that like you're making love to that person. Wouldn't they take offense? Yeah. Or would they just be like, oh, okay, cool. I always wonder, I don't know, like acting, I don't think I could ever professionally do it.
Especially on like such a high level. Or maybe they're already at such a high level that the director doesn't have to do so much. You know what I mean? The actor might come up to them and just be like, hey, here's like two school of thoughts I had. Like, which one where you kind of was more your like direction, you know what I mean? I don't know. But I feel like the best thing a director could do is if, like, obviously they have the table readings, they each individually get the script, they know there's a sex scene. So I guess when the scene comes, the director would just be like, hey, just do your thing. And then we'll yell cut at the end. And it's like, okay, but what's the end? Right, like, when do you stop? Because honestly, there's always like angle changes in sex scenes. So I'm always like, I can kind of vision the camera setup, but at the same time, when do you say cut? Right. When do you say go? So like... And then that's a whole nother level when it comes to like porn, because y'all are like actually fucking. Right. And then like I've seen like behind the scenes and they like yell cut and they're just like, that's funny whenever you did it. Like it's completely like desexualized. And I'm just like, yo, y'all were like going at it just a second ago, and now you're like, she just cracked a joke while your nut is on her face. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but I mean, that's when you yell cut in porn, and it's just like, literally at the end, you're just like giggling, like y'all are giving fist bumps, and there's kids on your face. There's kids. So I guess that's just another level of professionalism, I guess. And I don't know if I can handle all that. That's so much to handle. Wow. But I mean, who knows? You know? So I think that was a good I think to finish this conversation by talking about finishing,
Okay.
Or however you want to like make that correlation. So yeah, this is another episode of PSYCHii. I've been here with Nathalie.
Hey.
We've talked about everything from our favorite childhood movies to some
Wow.
very deep implications of what type of films we watch now.
Low key.
So at this point, I'm gonna open the floor to whatever you want to say. If you want to like plug in your where they can follow you, socials. I don't know if you're freelance and want to get some business, but I'll leave the floor to you.
Awesome. Well, I have a website. It's called Nathalie Marie Visuals with S at the end.com. Everything on there is linked to my social media, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, you name it. I'm on it. So yeah, feel free to check out the site. Feel free to book me. I'm a photographer, so if you have weddings or even baby pictures, family portraits, or if you want to
porn.
hook up, definitely not that. I think I'm gonna draw the line to that. I have not filmed one yet, and I don't know how to go about that. But in college, my friends tried to do like an artistic porn, and it definitely did not work out. So yeah, I filmed everything but that. Don't contact me for that, but for other things, I will film. Cool.
All right, once again, this was another episode of PSYCHii, and we'll see y'all next time.
Bye, guys.
Peace.